Christianity. Christianity originated in the 1st century CE in ancient Judea under the Roman Empire. It is the world's largest and most widespread religion with roughly 2.4 billion followers, comprising around 31.2% of the world population. So I'm pretty sure some of you watching this video right now are Christians. In Christianity, death is seen as the end of our life on earth but the beginning of an eternal existence. Christians believe that when we die, our soul leaves the body and waits for the final judgment. Their core belief hinges on the resurrection of Jesus Christ, signifying victory over death. On that day, Jesus will return to judge everyone based on their faith and actions. Those who have accepted Jesus and lived according to his teachings will go to heaven, a place of eternal happiness with God. Those who have rejected him will face a second death in hell, a place of eternal separation from God and suffering. This belief encourages Christians to live a good and faithful life, following Jesus' teachings. Islam. The religion of Islam originated in 610 CE in Jabal al-Nawa, Mecca, Hejaz in the Arabian Peninsula. There are nearly 2 billion people across the world who are Muslims. In Islam, death is seen as a natural part of life and a transition to the afterlife. When a person dies, an angel takes their soul and they await the day of judgment in an intermediate state called Barzakh. On this final day, everyone will be resurrected and judged by Allah based on their deeds and faith. Good deeds lead to paradise, called Jannah, a place of eternal happiness, while bad deeds without repentance lead to hell, called Jahannam, a place of judgment. Muslims believe that the way they live their lives on earth will determine their experience in the afterlife, encouraging them to live righteously and seek Allah's forgiveness. Hinduism. Hinduism is considered amongst the oldest religions in the world, dating back to about 4,000 to 5,000 years ago in the Indus Valley region of the subcontinent of India. Hinduism is the world's third largest religion, with approximately 1.2 billion followers, or around 15% of the global population. The view of Hinduism on human death and afterlife is deeply rooted in the concept of samsara, the circle of birth, death, and rebirth. According to Hindu beliefs, the eternal soul, known as Atman, transitions to a new form after death, influenced by the individual's karma or actions in their current life. Hindus believe in the practice of karma, where one's deeds shape their future rebirth, with good actions leading to positive outcomes and negative actions resulting in suffering. The ultimate goal in Hinduism is moksha, or liberation, where the Atman merges with the infinite Brahman, a process that leads to immortality or attains a blissful realm of a personal god. The practices surrounding death in Hinduism are intricate and significant, with rituals and beliefs aimed at guiding the soul through the circle of rebirth. Buddhism. Buddhism originated in the 5th century in ancient India, specifically in the region that is now part of modern-day Nepal and northern India. It is the world's 4th largest religion, with over 520 million followers, constituting 7% of the global population. In Buddhism, death is also seen as a natural part of life, leading to rebirth based on one's karma, which is the result of their actions. Buddhists, just like Hindus, believe in the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth, with the ultimate goal of escaping this cycle by reaching enlightenment, called nirvana. Depending on their karma, people can be reborn in various realms, such as human, animal, or even heavenly realms. At funerals, Buddhists perform rituals and chants to help the deceased have a favorable rebirth. Overall, Buddhism teaches that life is impermanent, and by living a good life and seeking enlightenment, one can eventually break from the cycle of rebirth and suffering. Judaism. Judaism originated in the ancient Near East, specifically in the region known today as Israel and Palestine, around 6th century BCE. The Jewish population is estimated at 15.2 million, with a significant population in Israel, United States and Canada. Judaism doesn't have a one-size-fits-all answer about what happens after we die. but focuses more on living a good life here and now. In Judaism, death is natural, where the soul returns to God. The afterlife includes ideas like the world to come, which is a peaceful future, the Garden of Eden, which is a heavenly paradise, and Gehenna, which is a temporary place of purification. There's also a belief in the resurrection of the dead during the Messianic era. Jewish funeral practices show respect for the deceased and support for the living, with rituals like Shiva, which is a 7-day mourning period, saying the Kaddish prayer and annual remembrances. Taoism, also known as Taoism, originated in ancient China around the 4th to 3rd century BCE. In Taoism, death is natural and part of the ongoing cycle of life, much like day turning into night. It's not something to fear, but a transition to a new state of being. Taoists believe in the idea of spiritual immortality, where one spirit can achieve unity with a Tao, that is the natural way of the universe. Some believe a spirit goes on a journey, or that highly virtuous individuals can become immortal beings. Taoist funeral rituals aim to guide the spirit of the deceased, protect the body from evil spirits, and provide for the deceased in the afterlife. Unlike other religions, Taoism does not have a concept of heaven or hell, instead seeing the afterlife as a continuation of the cycle of existence, with the soul moving to different realms. Sikhism originated in the Punjab region of South Asia, which is now divided between modern-day India and Pakistan, around the 15th to 16th century. They have an estimated population of 25 to 30 million followers. Sikhs are all about living a good life and remembering God. They believe in a God called Waheguru, and the goal is to eventually be united with them. Some Sikhs believe we're reborn based on our actions, but everyone agrees that death is a natural part of life. Instead of dwelling on what happens after we die, Sikhs focus on staying connected to God in this life and letting go of things that cause us pain. It's about living a good life here and now and trusting that things will work out in the end. Baha'i Faith. The Baha'i Faith originated in the mid-19th century in Persia, which is modern-day Iran. It has about 5 to 8 million followers. The Baha'i Faith teaches that when we die, our soul lives on in the spiritual world. Our soul is like a precious jewel that God creates when we are born. At death, the soul leaves the body and begins a new journey towards God. In the afterlife, we will recognize the good and bad things we did in life. We will also be able to meet holy figures from history. Prayers and remembering the good deeds of those who have passed away can help their souls. The afterlife is not a fixed place, but a world where the soul keeps growing closer to God. Death is like being born into a new world, just as a baby is born into this world. The Baha'i Faith says we should focus on living a good life and serving others, rather than worrying too much about what happens after we die. The most important thing is to have a close relationship with God. Shinto. The origin of Shinto is believed to date back to the Yayoi period, that's 300 BCE to 300 CE in Japan. Shinto doesn't have a heaven or hell. When we die, our spirit goes on to a different world, kind of like moving to a new town. There are different afterlife neighborhoods, with one called Takama no Hara, where heavenly spirits live. These aren't places with punishments or rewards, just places for spirits to be. Shinto puts more emphasis on honoring our ancestors who passed away through festivals and offerings in shrines made for them. Ancestral spirits are believed to watch over the living and protect their descendants. So, while death is not a change, Shinto sees it as a peaceful transition where we can stay connected to loved ones in a different way. Voodoo. The origin of Voodoo is primarily rooted in West Africa, specifically in the region of modern-day Benin, where the Fon people practice a religion known as Voodoo. Voodoo sees death as a big journey for the spirit. When someone dies, their life force moves on, but their spirit chills out for a bit. To help it get to the afterlife smoothly, they have special ceremonies. This afterlife is called the Guinea, where all the ancestor spirits hang out. It's kind of like a giant family reunion on the other side. These ancestors can even talk to the living through special people and influence their lives in positive ways. To keep things happy, People in Voodoo make offerings and hold ceremonies to remember and honor their loved ones. There's even a chance of being reborn someday. But the most important thing is staying connected to those who came before us. Mu-ism. Mu-ism, aka Korean shamanism, originated in ancient Korean peninsula as far back as 5,000 years. They are primarily found in South Korea with around 200,000 mudangs, but practitioners also exist abroad. In Mu-ism, when someone dies, they believe the spirit lives on forever. There is no coming back to life like in some religions, and there is no heaven or hell either. Instead of judgment after death, they believe in a soul that goes on an afterlife journey, and special ceremonies help guide it there peacefully, making sure everything goes smoothly and the deceased person's spirit isn't unhappy. Keeping those spirits happy is important because they can affect the living world. They see sickness and death as connected to the soul and environment, with illnesses often thought to be caused by spiritual issues like soul loss or bad spirits. So, in Mu-ism, death means the spirit carries on, and it's all about keeping things balanced between the world of the living and the world of the dead. Cheondoism. Cheondoism, also called Cheondoism, originated in Korea in the 1860s as a Donggak movement, a way of rebelling against Western learning, particularly Christianity. This religion has a population of about 3.7 million followers, mainly in North and South Korea. Cheondoism is a bit different from other religions when it comes to death. They believe in eternal life, not just for your soul, but for your whole entire self. It's like finally reaching enlightenment and becoming one with God. After death, there's a 7-stage journey where you learn and grow spiritually. The ultimate goal is Jacheon, this perfect state of being super close to God. It's not a physical place, but more like a higher spiritual level. Cheondoism even says that one day everyone will be resurrected and we will create a perfect world together. Pretty cool, right? So it's kind of like a giant journey of becoming a better version of yourself, even after you die. Tenrikyo. Tenrikyo is a Japanese religious tradition that was founded in what is today known as the Tenri city in the Nara prefectorate of Japan in the late 1830s. It has an estimated population of 2 million followers worldwide, with over 1.7 million found in Japan. In Tenrikyo, death is not the end of a person's life. Instead, it's a transition to a new life, kind of like changing clothes. The soul continues to exist forever and is reborn into a new body. This process is called passing away for rebirth. The goal is to live a life of joy and spiritual growth, and to learn from our experiences. Tenrikyo doesn't believe in heaven, hell, or purgatory, but rather focuses on living a good life in this world. The idea is that our souls will continue to evolve and grow through multiple lifetimes, and that we can achieve a state of spiritual maturity and happiness. Druze Religion. The Druze Religion originated in the early 11th century in the Middle East, particularly in the regions of modern-day Lebanon, Syria, and Israel. Their population is estimated to be between 800,000 and 2 million followers. Druze believe in reincarnation, like a game where souls keep going from one Druze person to another. There's a set number of souls, and they all stay human. Most Druze are reborn into new babies, but some super good souls might even get to a higher level after a while. While reincarnation is important, living a good life here and now is what truly matters. There is no heaven or hell, and interestingly, Druze believe you stay the same gender in each new life. Some Druze kids even have memories from past lives, which is pretty interesting. Overall, death in Druze isn't an ending. It's more like going to the next level in a game, but staying within the Druze community and continuing your soul's journey. Zoroastrianism. Zoroastrianism originated in ancient Persia, which is modern-day Iran, around 1500 to 1000 BCE. The number of Zoroastrians is between 100,000 and 200,000 in the world. Zoroastrianism is all about fighting for good in a world where good and evil clash. After we die, our soul faces a judge and has to cross a special bridge. If you live the good life, the bridge is wide and easy, leading you to paradise, called House of Songs. If you were bad, the bridge gets scary and narrow, leading to an unhappy place called the House of Lies. Zoroastrians even believe everyone will be resurrected someday, with good people helping to create a perfect world after a final battle between good and evil. So, basically, death is a big test, a chance to see if your good deeds outweigh the bad ones. Wicca. Wicca originated in England in the early decades of the 20th century, between 1921 and 1950. The number of people that practice Wicca is estimated to be over 1 million. Wicca doesn't have a one-size-fits-all answer about what happens after we die. They focus more on enjoying life here and now, and a balance with nature. Many Wiccans believe in a soul that goes on, and some even think there's a peaceful place called Summerland, where spirits stay for a while. Reincarnation is a possibility, but not a super important idea. Wicca honors ancestors, but how they see them in the afterlife isn't the main thing. There's even a practice where some Wiccans talk to the dead through mediums, kind of like messengers. Wicca is about living a good life and respecting the circle of life, without getting too hung up on what exactly happens after we die. Watch this video next, I think you'll like it.